Right. Well, you talk a lot about grains, and in your book you mentioned it a lot. Now, grains are getting a bad rap. I mean, I know some people that do have legitimate issues, but anti-nutrients such as lectins and gluten and phytates are now taking the blame for people's inflammatory disease-related issues. And I mean, it doesn't take a lot of surfing to hear statements like the ravages of gluten or the phytates rendering vitamins and minerals in grains null and void, and that, grains are naturally selected to ward off pests. Therefore, there's no reason at all for humans to be eating grains because they provide no nutritional value short of fiber. What's up with that?
It's crazy. I mean, yeah, it's a very kind of common internet meme. But if you actually look at the science, you'd see actually the reverse story. So if you look, in fact, I looked to see if I can find any study that found a kind of a pro-inflammatory effect of whole grains. Couldn't find a single one outside of some, rare autoimmune diseases like celiac disease, or if you have an allergy or something. But you put people on whole grains, and what happens? Their inflammatory markers go down. C-reactive protein, tumor necrosis factor, you kind of go on down the list. And without exception, I couldn't find one. Whole grains are anti-inflammatory foods. Legumes are anti-inflammatory foods, protect against inflammatory diseases. Or at least that's what the science says. I mean, but it's surprising that they can get away with saying something that's just so utterly opposite of what the balance of evidence shows.
Two-part question. Is there such thing as a protein deficiency, and what are some of the hazards of protein in excess?
Protein deficiency, there is such thing as a protein deficiency, but it's almost always part and parcel of a calorie deficiency.
Right.
So you're going to see it in starving children in Ethiopia. What's called kwashiorkor, where they get big bloated bellies because they don't have enough protein, so they get edematous and things like that. In Western worlds, extremely rare. I mean, it is, they recently did the NHANES data poll where they look at what people eat. And in our country, we eat way by enough protein, way by enough. There's very little to no protein deficiency. Meanwhile, we're completely deficient on fiber. Less than 3% of the people get the RDA of fiber, and the RDA is low. Problems with eating too much protein are so many. It causes acidosis, causes inflammation, can cause autoimmune disease, can cause cancer, can cause hypertension, definitely associated with diabetes, and with a shorter life expectancy and a more unpleasant life at that. So, I think the idea that more is better can lead to the many diseases that we have in Western society, which are basically just diseases of gluttony.
Right. Controversy time. I have a question directly from one of my viewers. I'd like to hear his approach towards other camps, scientists and scholars. The paleo people have their experts. The Harvard Food Study suggests that current data supports eating a variety of foods, including some meat and fish, is the optimal approach towards health and so forth. It just seems so confusing and useless when I speak with intelligent omnivores. They always claim that most peer-reviewed studies from major resources adopt a more diverse food plan rather than 100% plant-based. I mean, you must get this a lot. I mean, do you believe that other camps, scientists, and scholars give more of a patronizing answer to this based on what they feel that people can or can't handle, or the simple, unabashed truth? I mean, I'm looking at the Harvard study, or the Harvard Eating Healthy Plate right now, and they're calling oils healthy, and are pairing poultry and fish with beans and nuts as healthy sources of protein. I mean, what say you on this?
So they're very explicit about this. They're putting forth a diet that they feel is achievable, right? Is doable. And so, for example, a classic example is the so-called DASH diet. So if you go to the American Heart Association, American College of Cardiology, they recommend lifestyle as the first-line intervention for heart disease. What do they recommend as part of their lifestyle? They recommend this DASH diet, the dietary approach to stop hypertension, very famous diet, ranked number 1, U.S. News and World Report as the healthiest diet, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, let's go back and look at the DASH diet. It was created in the 70s by Dr. Frank Sachs out of Harvard. And he was the one that did all this really groundbreaking work on studying strict vegetarians and found that they were the only population in the Western world that actually had ideal blood pressures, coming in at about 110/65. These are the kind of blood pressures you see in rural China, rural Africa, people eating these plant-based diets, low sodium, low processed food, plant-based diets. But in the Western world, the only people, so he designed this diet. He was the chair of the design committee for the DASH diet. He designed a diet very explicitly. He talks about it in the landmark paper saying, we did this, we created this diet to capture the blood pressure lowering benefits of the strict vegetarian diet, but contain enough animal products to make it palatable to the general population. That's basically a quote, a direct quote from the source. Okay. And his own, so it's a low meat diet, includes low fat dairy. His own research shows that you add dairy to a vegetarian diet, their blood pressures go up. You take a vegetarian, you give them meat, their blood pressures go up. You take meat eaters, you remove meat from their diet, blood pressures go down. It's like not rocket science, but you can see what they were thinking. They're thinking, look, on a population, we can't tell everyone to eat a strictly vegetarian diet. That's what the science shows. No one's going to do it. So on a population scale, if we soft pedal the truth, right, the American public can't handle the truth. If we soft pedal the truth and tell people to cut down on meat, right, then, more people will do it. And overall, will actually reduce more suffering. We'll save more lives than if we actually told people the truth. All right. But, so I understand that kind of population approach, but, tell that to the 1,000 families a day that lose a family member to high blood pressure, kills 400,000 Americans every year. All right. Maybe it's time to start telling Americans the truth.